What's up, everybody? Sitting out here in BK. Just chilling. Just watched my first clip ever of Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Andrade? I don't know how you pronounce it. Andrade. I initially did not think, what up, Skills? What's up, light skin? So I just watched my first clip of Boo Boo fight. I had never seen him fight before because I'm hearing a lot of people think that he has a shot against Benavidez. You guys think he has a shot against Benavidez? What you think? Light skin? New Orleans, what you think? I was very impressed by Demetrius, real impressed. But I think here's a problem. Demetrius stays in that pocket and exchanges too much. So he has power, but his power isn't Benavidez level. His power is also, he fights a lot of guys who earmuff it, right? And then he's just throwing shots at him and they're just earmuffing it. I want to see what happens when Andrade fights. What's up, Angel? I think Andrade exchanges too much and stays in the pocket. And how do you pronounce it? Andrade? I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm just going to go with Boo Boo. I think Boo Boo stays in the pocket too much and he exchanges too much. Because a lot of the clips you see, he's sitting there exchanging. He's firing off. He's going toe to toe with dudes, right? That's Benavidez. So if he tries to fight Benavidez like that, look, and Boo Boo has good power, right? I hate motorcycles. So loud and annoying. You hear that? Just like pollutes all the air. Anyway, he has good power, but he's not Benavidez power. So if him and Benavidez sitting there, and his speed is good, really good, but it's not Benavidez speed. What's up, no smoke? So if he's sitting there trying to exchange with Benavidez like that, where he's stalking him, coming at him, no. He's tall, but Benavidez is a little taller, so he doesn't have to. He can't. I don't see him being able to box Benavidez now. So if he goes toe to toe with Benavidez, right, or stalks him, trying to put him out, that's not going to go well. Now, if he boxes Benavidez, right, let's say he boxes him and kind of, throws his 1-2, is right, straight, left, spin. That might cause Benavidez some concerns in the beginning. But Benavidez is going to wear him down. Benavidez hits too hard. He's too aggressive. And doo-doo will get destroyed. I'm with you, Shy. Shy 305. 305 the area code in Chicago? Because if so, that makes sense. I'm with you. I think Boo Boo's going to lose. But he's better than I thought he was. He's way better than I thought he was. I mean, what do you guys think? Who do you guys have winning that fight? I think Benavidez is the best, one of the best fighters in boxing, pound for pound. But he's definitely the best middle or super middle. But Boo Boo is way better than I thought, man. He has good combination. He has good power. Now, let's not forget, too, though, he's a southpaw. So that's the one thing. Can any of you guys, Miami, 305 is Miami. What's up, Steven? Can any of you guys tell me, has Benavidez ever fought a southpaw? And if so, how did he perform? Because I don't remember. Because that's always a wild card. Like, the southpaw could cause a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could cause a problem, depending on who you are. Miami. I want to move to Miami, by the way, because this cold. Today it's nice out here in BK. Here's BK. Today it's nice out, but fuck this shit. Way too cold out here on the regular. I also want to hear what you guys think about a couple things. The Fury and Ngannou fight, which I just interviewed Dewey Cooper, Benavidez, but go see Morrell next. Ah, Morrell. I'm hearing things about Morrell. I've seen Morrell fight. Morrell's good, but Benavidez has too much experience. What's up, Hudrick? Me and Blue Blood bet 5K on Haney and Tank fight. He really believe Haney wins. We will see. Yeah, I think I go with Tank as well. And no disrespect, because I'm actually going to interview Haney's pops, Bill Haney, next. And but look, you could have opinions without being disrespectful. I think Haney is. I find Teofimo, Tank, and Shakur. Actually, I'm not sure about Shakur, because he's still unproven, but I find Teofimo and Tank more talented than Haney. I think they beat Haney as well. I agree with you. The one thing that they have to contend with is Haney's size. He's tall, he's long, he can keep those guys on the end of his punches. So there's a chance Haney could outbox them and win on points. We know he's not knocking anybody out. We know that. However, Teo and Tank, especially Tank, could put Haney out. Like, for good. I've known David Morrell, that's a pause moment. I've known David Morrell since he was 15. Ronnie Shields, thank you. You shouldn't be betting 5 G's with Blue Blood on some boxing, man. You could take that and do something else with it. I never bet. Because first of all, I mean, some people get a thrill out of the bet. It makes it more exciting, the fight, but for me, it'll make me stressed. Like, I want to enjoy the fight, not worry about my man winning. Plus, if I bet, I'm supposed to be an unbiased news coverage, so to speak, or unbiased analyst. And if I have money on somebody, I can't be unbiased. I'm gonna be biased because I want my money. What's up, Jeff Spark? Queens in the house. I'm in BK. What part of Queens? I heard he got stopped against Liam Paro. Shakur? What, as an amateur? But I don't know. I'm not really interested. I'm more interested in the super middleweights. Let's talk about the heavyweights, right? And another thing, I put up this video recently. Woodside, my man. My father was from Flushing. I used to spend a lot of time in Flushing coming up, and Astoria, and Woodside too. Matter of fact, I recently released this video, and I'm curious what you guys think. It was a video of that everybody says of Errol Spence. He's holding a puppy. It's supposed to be recent. He looks easy 180 pounds, right? But then, so, everybody's shitting on him. Oh, he's heavy. He's not going to be fighting Terrence next, or he puts too much weight on in between fights, blah, blah, blah. But then somebody pointed out, one of my subscribers was like, look at his body. He has no tattoos. And now, if you look at him right now, Errol is covered in tats. So I went back and looked, and the problem was that video that's released with Errol holding a puppy and next to some white guy, you guys can look it up, it's real grainy, it's pixelated, it's not high, it's low resolution, not good quality. So it looks like he doesn't have tattoos, but I can't tell. But he definitely has the same hair he has now. And I don't think he's ever had his hair like as kind of long as it is now. So the hair looks like, and the age looks like it's now, but I couldn't tell with the tats. I want you guys to repeat that video. Do you see tats? Do you think this is recent? Because it's supposed to be recent, but the tattoos are a telling piece of information. No tattoos, can't be now. Has to be before. So, I don't care about Errol Spence. He should retire. He's irrelevant. Well, I don't agree with that. The retire part, maybe. He took an ass whooping. He might be at the end of his career, but he's not irrelevant, not yet. If he loses once or twice more, he'll be irrelevant. And what do you guys think of the Tyson Fury fight? I mean, if you guys haven't peeped my interview, I interviewed Dewey Cooper, Francis Ngannou's coach, his head coach. I know Mike Tyson was involved, but Ngannou was obviously the head of operations for that camp. Errol Spence looks like a reggaeton artist from Washington Heights. Oh shit! Yeah, he kind of does. Yeah, he doesn't. If that video is him, he's. But look, a lot of guys gain weight in between fights, so it's not the biggest deal. But that's, I mean, we're talking. He's at least 30 pounds, and 30 pounds is a little much. Guys will do 15, they'll do 20. 30 is much. And I know you might say, well, it's only 10 pounds more than 20, but it adds up. Just trying to drop 30 pounds. You know what I'm saying? He's under investigation for the death of rapper. I don't know what that means. That's maybe a joke. I don't know who rapper MO3 is. I'm old as shit. I stopped listening to rap when that rapper Shine got arrested. That's kind of when I stopped listening to new shit. So you gotta give me cliff notes to the joke for me to get it. My old ass. Just had a birthday too. 47. But yeah, so the Benavidez fight is when? Next week? No, 2 weeks. The Benavidez fight is in 2 weeks. I think Andrade, it depends how he fights. If he comes at Benavidez, like he's coming at these dudes I've seen in the highlights, because I've never seen him before. I'm actually going to put out a video either later today or tomorrow going over Benavidez, going over Andrade being the first time I've seen him, and kind of compare the two. But he's very talented, man. I'm surprised. Angry Skips, what up? I think people want to give Francis the win because how great the story, but it was close and deserves a rematch. Yeah, I mean, that fight, I think we could all agree, undoubtedly, even though I think Fury won by 1 point, razor close victory, he still technically, he lost, and more important, boxing lost. I don't care what anybody says. Look, Francis Ngannou wasn't shooting threes or throwing fastballs before this. He was throwing punches. So he has a background in boxing or in more combat sports. But for him to come in his first fight ever, professional fight, boxing, and to nearly beat who many deem the best heavyweight of this era and could possibly go down as the best of all time, makes boxing look like shit. I mean, I don't care if Fury was a little, Fury was over 300 pounds, Francis won. I don't care if Fury was a little underprepared, if he took it lightly. I don't care about any of that. That's on him if that's the case. Ngannou did one thing, right, that we've all seen. He was able to take away all of Fury's natural advantages. His size, his weight, his strength. Fury's not crazy strong, but being that he's so big, it translates. In other words, if 100 pounds drops on you, it hurts, but if 200 pounds drop on you, it hurts more. So it's not necessarily about who's pushing it, it's about the force, it's about the weight of the thing to begin with. I don't know if I described that right, but point is, Fury is usually always stronger and heavier and can wear out almost any fighter. But Ngannou was the first fighter who Fury got. You guys saw these motorcycles. I think it's the same one. Like to throw a stick at it and trip him up. Fury looked tired. Did you guys see that Fury looked tired? Because if you saw this, Fury kept trying to grab. You saw he threw a couple punches and then shot at Ngannou's waist. Well, Ngannou would immediately push him off, and people who've been in the ring know this. When Fury before would just throw a shot and then hook in and lean, and once he hooks in, he doesn't have to use any strength. It's his mass, his weight is leaning and doing all the work for him. But with Ngannou, his weight wasn't enough. He had to actually use force, strength, and expend energy, and he would just get pushed off. So that's why Fury got so tired, and more importantly, he was unable to make Francis worn out by doing so. So what Fury do quickly after feeling Ngannou's power and seeing that Ngannou has no problem taking a shot to give a shot, he was just basically almost closing his eyes and throwing exactly when Fury would come in at him, he would throw punches too. Fury quickly got in his back foot, danced around, and narrowly got the victory by popping out jabs. Now, a win is a win, but with the guy who's never fought before? Ever? He's using his elbow. He did throw an elbow. I agree. Otto Wallen beat Fury, you agree. I didn't see that fight, but I did hear that Wallen did really well. I got to watch it before I comment on that. That elbow was almost definitely intentional. I agree. What's up, Picasso? What's up, William? What's up, Skills? I already said that. From New Orleans. See, we say New Orleans, but I know you guys say New Orleans. New Orleans. Whatever. My bad for the awful Southern accent. But it looked to me like Ngannou can hold his own against any heavyweight, top 5 heavyweight. I mean, I think he could hold his own. I'm interested to see what happens with Wilder because Ngannou took Fury's punches no problem. I'm curious if he could take Wilder's punch. Probably not, but can Wilder take his and his size? Because if Fury was able to wear out Wilder by leaning on him, Ngannou's basically the same weight, but he's stronger. So I think, I hate to say it, but Ngannou has a good chance of beating Wilder because Ngannou also might be has better fundamentals. It might be a better technical boxer than Wilder. See, it's all about that whole Jared Anderson versus Ngannou. Oof, that'd be a talk about a lose-lose for Anderson. But talk about styles making fights, right? Fury struggled so badly because Ngannou's strength, which is part of his style and his counterpunching ability, did it. The only reason Fury squeaked by is because he had those 3-4 inches in height and he was able to just use that slight height and reach advantage and just jab his way to victory. But Wilder, all Wilder has is an explosive right hand and size. Well, him and Ngannou were very similar in size, but we've already seen because of Wilder's disadvantage in his weight, he can be worn out. Well, I guarantee you Ngannou would wear him out. And he hits harder than Fury. So Wilder might be in trouble with this one. And he has solid fundamentals. He can counterpunch. He can keep his poise, Ngannou. He can throw. He can throw good, crisp punches. He's smart fighter, man. I was, mad respect to Ngannou because I never expected in a million years for him to look the way he looked. I don't think anybody did, except maybe Dewey. Are you interested in Francis Wilder? Then, if Fury gets undisputed, he fights Francis again. Yeah. I mean, Wilder versus Fury versus Ngannou is probably the most exciting fight in boxing. Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua would be fun. That might be harder. I think Anthony Joshua would be a harder fight for Ngannou, again, because of styles, not because I think Wilder sleeps Joshua. But Joshua is a better technical boxer. He's super strong. You know what I'm saying? And he's a little bigger than Ngannou. So I think Joshua gives Ngannou probably the hardest fight. Just because of his size. You know what I'm saying? Heavyweight division sucks. Fury, Usyk, both boring. I don't think Fury's boring. He's boring when he just gets on the bike and boxes, but usually he doesn't. Ivan Houtdini, what's poppin'? How you doing? I don't think the heavyweight division is boring. I think Andy Ruiz, mad exciting. He's been on the shelf for whatever reason. We haven't seen him, but he's mad exciting. Jared Anderson, mad exciting. Skill says explosive. Try incredible. Francis will outbox Wilder as long as it lasts until the courageous hand from Alabama blesses him. If the hand blesses him, and the hand blesses everybody, but Ngannou has a chin from what we saw, because Fury hit him with some hard leverage shots. Now Fury's not the hardest puncher in the world, but he's 280 pounds and gets all his leverage behind his shots. So, and the first couple shots, if you guys remember when the bell rang, Fury did a 1-2 and that right hand landed flush. And what did Ngannou do? Took it and exact same time threw a counter. And right there and then, I think it slid off of Fury's shoulder, but Fury felt that power. And you saw it in his face. He was like, oh shit. Not only did he take my shot, but his felt like a sledgehammer and didn't even land flush. Other than those guys, I don't know who else is really. There's this Russian. You guys seen him? Makhmudov, big, crazy-looking Russian bear dude who kind of like a twitch when he fights. He gets like mad. It's like a weird Tourette's thing just when he fights. So he starts shaking his head. He does this. He does that a lot. It's like a twitch, shoulder, head shake. but he punches hard. He's 6'5", 6'6", strong. He didn't look good in one of his recent fights, but before that, the dude's been pretty impressive, I think. I don't even want to talk with the lightweight division because nobody's going to fight anybody. They're saying Tank versus Tio, but that would be another big fight. Wilder, KO abilities, and boxing confidence versus Ngannou's size and mystery power. AJ doesn't have the heart to survive equal power punches coming back. I don't know, man. AJ, yeah, you're kind of right. I was going to say he has heart, he just doesn't have confidence, but his lack of confidence makes him almost quit, which equals to not having heart, so I guess we're saying the same thing. Yeah, I like Eddie Hearn, but his bias is crazy towards Joshua. And look, I get it, okay? It's my job when I cover this to not be biased. And I have fighters I like more than others, but I'm always like, I love Fury, right? I love him. Mostly because of how funny, he's funny to me outside the ring. Those of you know I have a comedy background. But he didn't look good. You know what I mean? He didn't look good, and you just have to be honest with it. So even though I might be going for certain fighters, I always try and cover it as fair as possible. And Eddie Hearn is so biased when it comes to Anthony Joshua. I mean, he's wilding out, like thinking Joshua beats everybody and blah, blah, blah. Like, you got to be honest with yourself. That's the problem. A lot of people aren't honest with themselves. So it's not that they know that they're really convinced themselves. Oh, this dude cheated. Oh, this dude just was weight trained. Oh, this guy, the other guy. They really convince it because they don't want to, the ego doesn't let you admit, I was wrong. Who cares if you're wrong? This isn't the lotto. If you pick the right fighter, you're not winning money unless you're betting on it. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Let your ego go. As a boxing fan, you want to learn. Like, I learned a lot from watching Fury almost lose. And some people thought he lost. I wouldn't even argue people think that he lost. I haven't watched it a second time, but to me, it's a loss in general. Maybe not on the scorecards, but it's a loss considering the circumstances. But you learn from it. I learned a lot about Fury's weaknesses, but I also learned a lot about what makes Fury a good fighter. His natural advantages. And, because when you don't really see the advantages until they're taken away. And then you're like, oh, he really relies on these certain advantages. Size, weight, strength. Picasso. What happened to Bigfoot, MMA fighter, the guy that beat... I don't watch MMA at all, my man. At all. I don't like MMA. MMA is like a Walmart version of boxing to me. It's like the dudes who didn't get drafted and go play in the Harlem Globetrotters. That's MMA to me. But, whatever. MMA is pretty popular. Look, it makes, when you mix MMA and boxing, you get some of the biggest fights. Like viewership-wise, all kinds. 6'9", and who's 6'9" and needs roids? Yvonne Houdini, that's a cool name. What's so funny, Picasso? Something I said. Legendary boxing. What's up? Do you know how talented Boo Boo is yet? You said a few times you didn't know much about him. Yeah, I just watched him literally like a 8-minute highlight compilation of his fights. Now, I gotta watch a little more because the highlights are just him going at people, just throwing punches, like when he probably has somebody hurt or when he knows he can go at somebody. I'm not seeing him when he needs to maybe, put his foot on the brakes or whatever. But yes, legendary. He is very talented, man. Southpaw, throws good, crisp punches, good speed, good power. Does that classic southpaw, jab straight left and then spins, gives angles, and he's long, paws, tall. So yeah, he's talented. I was saying before, legendary, that it depends how he fights Benavidez. From what I saw in the videos, Boo Boo has a tendency to go toe-to-toe, or to stalk and come at people, or to try and counter them while they're throwing, kind of what Ngannou did. Now, that's all well and good, but if he does that shit with Benavidez hits too hard and his volume is too much volume in his punches, too many shots come at him. That's not a good strategy. Now, if he tries to box him on that southpaw shit, with spinning and doing what he does, that might be a different story. I don't watch fighting on TV much, but in person, yes. Well, it's interesting to see. we have a lot of things going on right now. You know, what's going on with Bud and Spence? What's going on with Canelo? Who's he fighting next? Canelo should have fought Benavidez. I mean, he's been a mandatory for 2 years, 3 years, 2 or 3 years. I mean, he's been the mandatory for more than a minute. And the fact that he's not fighting Benavidez to me is insane. But I don't. What else we got here? Talk to me, guys. Throw out some topics that you want to touch on. I'm still on the heavyweight division. It kind of has me kind of amped. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's interesting. Leader Hand, what up? Benavidez is a real deal boxer. He's not a fraud like Tyson Fury. I don't know if Tyson Fury is a fraud. I don't think Ngannou beat him, but I thought he came within 1 point of beating him. I said this earlier. But for all intents and purposes, he beat him, and boxing took a big fat eye jammy from that fight. There was no way that should have happened like that. No way. No way. It was, but we have to understand, or we have to figure out, is Ngannou just that good, or is Fury a, quote, fraud, like you just said? Or is it a little bit of both, maybe? Ngannou's way better than we thought, and Fury has his weaknesses. I still don't think any other active heavyweight can come with the physical advantages that Ngannou came with against Fury. So Fury's still going to dominate. If you think this has anything to do with the Usyk fight, if you think this at all changes anybody's opinion on the Usyk fight, it might, but it shouldn't. Usyk does not have any of those advantages that are effective against Fury. Usyk does not. Usyk is going to get beaten bad, I think. And I think any other boxer will also still get beaten bad by Fury because they don't have the advantages that Ngannou has. None of them. Josh was close, but his chin's not good enough. And as somebody said before, his heart is questionable. Marco, I have to disagree with you about Morrell. I think Morrell beats Benavidez, but we'll see. I don't think anybody beats Benavidez, but you're right. It's boxing, man. We'll see. Who knows? It's one thing, man. I do not hook on to predictions. People out there who attach predictions to them as their own life, like somebody who thinks if a fighter fights, it's almost like when you're a kid and when your team loses, like when the Knicks lose, like you're all upset and then you start feeling like life's shitty. And fighters winning or losing do not control or have any bearing on if your life's going to go well or not, or on, if a fighter you're rooting for doesn't make it, it doesn't mean that you're not going to make it in your life. And the two aren't connected, and people connect that way too much to themselves, man. Watch the sport, enjoy the sport, but don't connect yourself to that sport, because then you just become biased and it's not as fun watching it. Fury gloves look normal, so does performance. He was outclassed by his pedigree. Oh, you're on the glove thing? Yeah, I mean, look, it's possible. Fury is a gypsy, so I don't think he cheated against Wilder, but it is possible. Anything's possible. He definitely has his past, so. Canelo can take up another easy money fight by taking on Jamal next. Or Jamal next. Yeah, I don't think he's going to fight Jamal, though. Why is Fury banned from America? Something to do with him being connected with some Irish mobster. I don't think he's banned. I think he has to go, from what I understand. He's temporarily. But apparently if he goes to get his visa and clears up some things, from what I'm understanding, he can come. From what I'm understanding, it's not a hard ban. It definitely, the stipulations, and he can overturn it. Why is Fury banned? Fury is a fighter. Fury is a fighter, in my opinion. But he's still a fighter. I don't care for cheating, but he puts on a show. He's entertaining. His fights aren't always that entertaining. They have been since Sugar Hill took over. He's knocking everybody out. He's literally knocked everybody out except Ngannou since Sugar Hill took over. But he's entertaining outside the ring. Like, that's what I liked about Fury, to be honest, initially. He grabbed me, man. He says some funny shit. And then when you get like the English to the British way of speaking English, when, the shit he says, because we don't say that here. Like, we don't call people big fat sausages, but that's just funny when you hear it. Fury hits behind the head a ton, man. He does. He throws elbows. He's dirty. He could be dirty. But let me say something. Mike Tyson was one of the dirtiest heavyweight champions. And I love Mike Tyson. But that's just what it was. People don't bring that up because people love Tyson. Mike Tyson threw that elbow that Fury threw, Tyson did that. He didn't throw it down though because he's not so tall, but he would come across with mad elbows. Look it up. Look, I guarantee there's a YouTube video just on Tyson's elbows. He did that shit all the time. Tyson was super dirty. My point is, some fighters are dirty. And in a way, I hate to say it, but it's kind of part of the game. If you could do dirty shit and get away with it, Evander Holyfield, man, Hassan Rahman's my boy. He personally told me Holyfield would lead with his head and then throw a combination right after, so the judge would get thrown off and not know what landed. Was the head, the headbutt, or the punches? A lot of fighters are dirty, and sometimes it's almost like the WWF, old wrestling. If you do it and the ref doesn't see it, and you master how to do it, that's what it is. So yeah, Fury is dirty, but so are a lot of other fighters.
Romy?
Is Wilder a Hall of Famer? Yes, absolutely. Definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. Just the knockouts that he has, hardest puncher of all time. I don't like making absolute statements because his career's not over, but so far the hardest puncher ever, Wilder. Fury hits behind the head. The dirtiest has to be Andrew Galata, yes. But Andrew Galata, see, there's different though, William. Galata was trying to quit. I don't care what anybody says. That crazy bastard was trying to quit. He got in there, he either got hit or he also got hit, but then also hit them, and his punches didn't do had no effect, and he didn't want to be in there anymore. I mean, he's literally verbally quit many fights, and all those blatant, when you're blatantly fouling somebody, blatant, you're trying to quit. Trying to quit. So it's different. Being effectively dirty is one thing. You know, bending the rules, so to speak, is one thing, and blatantly fouling is another thing. So yeah, Galata is. But let's talk about who are the dirtiest fighters who got away with it. Holyfield, Tyson, Fury. What other guys were dirty? Hopkins was mad dirty. Talk about leading with headbutts. That dude would throw headbutts and shoulders and elbows. Hopkins was dirty as shit. Klitschko was actually pretty dirty during his 11-year reign, which was the boringest time in heavyweight boxing. When Fury beat him, I was so excited. When Joshua beat him, I was so excited. Klitschko would always hold and always push dudes' heads down. Always. And he was taller than everybody back then, so that's all he would do. He'd throw 1-2 and hold and push the dude's head down. And those of you who have been in the ring know, when you get pushed down like that, it's draining. It's literally like, look at it like a video game, and your energy's at 100. Every time you get pushed down, it goes boop, 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 down to like 98, boop, 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 97, boop, 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 90, boop, 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 89. And that's what it does. And he knows that. Andrade, I remember watching Galata walking out of the ring against Tyson. Yep. Andrade will make the fight be a boxing match to win because David Benavidez's power will keep him honest. Yeah. Andrade's going to make it a boxing match. Absolutely. But we just saw Francis Ngannou almost beat Tyson Fury, arguably beat him. So we don't know who knows what we'll see. It's possible that he bangs out with him. Pause. But yeah, you're right. I'm assuming he's probably going to feel that power, that pressure. But I'm telling you guys, Benavidez has very underestimated, underrated defense and technical skill. People think he's just a big dude who walks forward and throws punches and walks people down. And he gets hit a lot. And he gets hit a little, but he gets hit when he knows, just like Francis Ngannou did. He'll take one to give one, and he knows that the ones he's taken aren't going to do shit, and he knows that his are. If he's in there with somebody who's thumping, he's not going to get hit that much. He showed good head movement against Plant. He showed good and technical. Guys, this is what I want you to do. Look up fighters who you're questionable about their sparring. Not their fights, look up their sparring. When I looked up Inoue's sparring, when I looked up Benavidez's sparring clips, you see the technical ability these guys have and the defense that they have when they need to. Benavidez is the whole package, man. Just does he have a chin? That's the one thing I don't know, because I don't think I've ever seen him get hit hard, flush. Everything else is everything, my opinion. When will you interview Southpaw? That's not happening. 78 Sports TV, I'll reach out to him. If you guys have any any people you want me to talk to, any other like analysts or whatever you called me, boxing community personality, I don't know, let me know. Message me on Instagram. You could leave it. Message me on Instagram. That's probably the best way to get it to me. What do we got here? Marco, enjoy your 40s, bro. When you get into your 50s, it's a whole different ball game. You're 59? Well, I'm 47, so I don't have too many of my 40s left. And 50s are better, right? Because that midlife crisis shit in the 40s is real. Man, sucks. Hopefully I heard the 50s and the rest of people's lives, I hear 50s begin the happiest time of your life. That's what I hear. Because you're wise, you've gone through shit. But yeah, so I'm excited to see the Boo Boo fight now, because I saw that he's way more talented than I thought he was. You know, I shouldn't say that I thought he was, than I expected, because I didn't know much about him. You know, he's undefeated. Everything boxing. Let's see, just do boxing. Everything boxing. Cano Loco Sports. Good podcasters. Okay. Skills from Orleans. There's only one other David that can possibly make David be late for the party. I mean, his last opponent suffered a brain bleed. Who suffered a brain bleed? Whose last opponent suffered a brain bleed? Holy shit. That's no joke. Zab, my man Zab Judah had a brain bleed. People don't realize that. His last fight. He had yeah, man, he almost died. There's a scar across his dome. Fucked up. Morrell made the dude have a brain bleed? Ugh. That's no good. That's no good. I don't think Benavidez is going to stay at 68 too long, too, guys. Here's the question. Benavidez versus Bivol or Beterbiev? Now, I'm not so sure Benavidez will win. Now, when you put Benavidez in that weight division, then I'm not as confident, because you're dealing with big, powerful boys, too. Beterbiev could possibly stop him with that power, and Bivol could possibly box the socks off him. 50s start your aches and pains, all your old injuries resurface. I would give anything to be in my 40s. Well, I guess we're different people. I definitely disliked almost all my 40s. Shit was whack. Yeah, so I mean, I'm curious at 75, how does Benavidez hold up at 75? Because you got two monsters at 75, right? Benavidez beats Bivol but loses to Beterbiev. You know, I love Beterbiev, don't get me wrong, but something about him, not just his age, but when you just rely on power, that's all you have. I mean, Beterbiev has strength and power. His boxing ability is okay. You're going to lose eventually. You have to have more than just power. George Foreman. Wilder. And I feel like Beterbiev just has power and tenacity and aggression. And you need more. You don't need more to be an all-time great, but you need more than just power to be a legend. And I think a lot of those other guys have more than just power. So I don't know, I feel like Beterbiev is one of those guys that we could see, just the right person comes along, he'll just outbox him 12 rounds and he'll lose a unanimous decision. Beterbiev is basically like a cyborg. He reminds me of Terminator. He has underrated footwork. Well, yeah, lead, hand. Beterbiev cuts the ring off really well. I think that's what you're referring to, right? That's like Foreman. You know, Muhammad Ali said, you know, the whole rope-a-dope thing, he said that I was going to box Foreman, right? But Foreman cut off the ring better than anybody I've ever been in there with. So he goes, so I just had to lay on the ropes and improvise. Beterbiev is similar. I think he cuts the ring off really well. Really well. Bivol will deliver a masterpiece boxing lesson to David Benavidez. Arthur Beterbiev will separate his body and soul. The power is unusual. It can stop a thinking man's boxing. So you think, or New Orleans, you think Benavidez loses to all those guys? I'm not so sure. I can't really speak on it. because we don't know. I don't know. I know he's bigger than those guys, taller. I don't know if he's naturally heavier or not. I don't know. He looks skinny as fuck at 68. Benavidez. Like, he looks really like, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. He might naturally fill out well at 75. And it might, he might be stronger even because he's not draining himself. It's hard to tell. What do I think about Vito Milnicki? I don't know much about him. He's an Italian kid, right? I mean, American. I don't know much about him. What do you talk to me? What about him? What do you know about him? These dudes yelling at each other. Shut up! Yeah. What do you think about him? Like, what? He's a middleweight, right? Is he out of New York? Is he out of here? I'm not sure. I'm gonna get Bill Haney on either today or tomorrow, hopefully. I'm trying to get Clarissa back on too. I want to hear her. She just sent me a video of her sparring this dude and putting an ass whooping on him. Look good. 50, you should know how to live. Watch squirrels at the park if you want a quick lesson. I'm good, man. I mean, I'm starting to feel better now. Coming out of my 40s. Also, COVID and everything was a shitty past like 3 to 5 years. Of course, I don't know for sure, but it's so damn fun imagining the possibilities. Yeah, those will all be good fights. We just, besides Benavidez and Boo Boo, the only other decent fight coming up is who? Haney versus Prograis, but Haney's a great boxer, but no disrespect to him, but when I know that there's virtually zero chance of somebody getting knocked out, forget it knocked out, hurt, even just wobbled, let alone knocked out, when I know there's zero chance of a fighter doing that, kind of bores me. And Prograis to me, from what I've seen, seems like a good fighter, but he seems a little wild. He seems a little... You don't watch him and no part of his game have I watched him and be like, oh, that's beautiful boxing. That's beautiful power. It's just very, no disrespect to any of them, but I'm not really interested in that fight. I'll watch it, don't get me wrong, but I'm not interested in it. Vito's from Jersey, yeah, okay, I know who he is. Bivol is David's sparring partner. The best isn't fighting the best anymore, as much as like back in the day, all these politics and bullshit are messing up boxing, especially for the fans. Well, yeah. I mean, look at the lightweights. If Tank fights, that's not what I heard. I didn't hear Tank and Tio. I heard Ryan Garcia and Tio. Ryan Garcia is one of the fastest left hooks I've ever seen, right? Likeable kid, good-looking kid, mastered today's day and age of social media, demands more money than, demands way more money than a guy like Beterbiev, who is 100% knockout, undefeated champion of the world for how many years, demands way more money. But, he can't beat Tio. He's just not, he doesn't have the experience, he doesn't have the level of competition, is not there. Hopefully Derek James is working on this, but I mean, he doesn't have a right hand. He literally throws his right hand with no power. Not that he has no power, but he throws it incorrectly. He doesn't generate torque, a snap, shoulder snap, leverage. I mean, if you look at him throw the right hand in the past, he throws it and then pulls it back before it's even fully followed through. Insane. Marco, your view on Bud's left glove. Cheating accusations are starting to run rampant. Your take, please. I don't know what you're talking about. What's with his left glove? I don't know what cheat. Oh, Bud. Tell me what you're talking about, but I don't. That was just an ass whooping. I don't think it has anything to do with his glove. Just like I don't think Deontay Wilder, like Fury cheated against Wilder. Although Fury's more likely to cheat because of his history. So there's anything's possible, so I never say never, but it's way, I don't think Bud cheated. Like, when a fight is close, like for example, this is what I want you guys to always remember about cheating. And I don't like getting into cheating and all this bullshit because it's negative. And now if it's obvious, one thing, but when Miguel Cotto fought Margarito, okay, this is exactly the difference is what I'm talking about. Miguel Cotto was putting it on Margarito, right, in the beginning. Margarito landed a shot here or there, and slowly, Margarito's punch wouldn't land that hard, visibly, but it would start swelling up Cotto's face, fucking his face up, until it ended up stopping him. So it was a closest fight, punches that didn't look that hard, were doing a lot of damage, fight stopped. And you hear his gloves are loaded. That, to me, is and you never say definite because we don't know, but highly likely cheating. But when you watch a fight like Bud versus Spence or Fury versus Wilder, the second one, the skill level between the two, the deviation of, like one guy was levels above, was landing. Because look, those punches got to land. Tyson Fury was hitting him a lot, not getting hit. You know, Errol Spence was getting nailed and was so if a fight's super, super close and then something happens, okay. But when there's such a lopsided fight, I don't think that it's cheating because you're just seeing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And look, this is a whole different conversation, but depending on the state, but gloves are checked before, checked after. It's tough to cheat unless there's a whole conspiracy behind it, where officials from the athletic commission, from the sanctioning body, from the other guy's camp, because you have the other guy's camp is watching the hands being wrapped. Unless there's a whole intricate plot at play, it's usually not happening. But again, it does happen. What'd you say here? You said Ryan should work with Blu-ray. Yeah, he should. Ryan needs to learn how to just get his right hand. If he gets his right hand locked down, if he throws that with the same pop that he could throw his left, because if he has a strong left, he's going to have a strong right, because I think he's a natural right-hander, so it's going to be stronger. Yo, Marco, what up? What up, Savage? Tio got one of the best resumes in boxing. Hell yeah. Tio is arguably the best fighter at 35 and 40. I always say that. He had a couple bad fights, and for one of them, he actually produced a medical document saying he had air trapped in his lungs, he could have died, whatever. Now, I know those could have been forged, so again, I don't get into conspiracy, I don't go that deep into shit, but yeah. And then the second fight that he lost is, I don't know if you guys have watched me interview him and his dad, but his dad said it straight up, like, yo, I told Tio to go out and try and knock him out. You guys saw how he came out against Kambosos. I said, go out. He didn't box, which is how he beat Josh Taylor, how he beat Loma. He went and did something else that his dad forced him to do, and he didn't look good. Now, while that's still on him, I'm not taking away, he lost, it's his fault, but he has the goods to come out, and if he has the right game plan, he has the skill and the talent and experience and the power to beat all those guys. Him versus Tank versus Tio is the most exciting fight in boxing. Or at least, yes, not the most, one of the most. Top three, arguably. I believe Spence's car accident did a lot more damage than they are saying. I always go back to the blank stare in Ugas's. Nah, that blank stare was because he thought the car accident might have done a lot, because Spence clearly has, his eyelids look, there's something going on, or maybe it made him start taking painkillers. The car accident did something, either directly brain damage or forced him to go on medications. But that Ugas thing was him just thinking his teeth fell out and he was embarrassed. He said that and it made sense. Any reason why Bud would team up for Victor Conte? I don't know. Tank vs. Tio would be crazy. Hell yeah. I believe Fury better boxer than Wilder. His gloves were way too floppy. Fury never explained perplexing situation. Besides honest people, rush to tell the truth. I'm not going to get into that. That's old. That was just insane. That's what made me kind of not love Wilder anymore, was the excuses. Because don't forget, guys, it started first with the suit was too heavy. There was a lot of excuses, and I was just like, it seemed, but there's a side of it too, where it's like, if you've knocked out everybody in your whole career and you finally lose, it's hard to digest. Julio Cesar Chavez refused to admit that he lost to Pernell Whitaker. When he finally first lost. There's another one I'm thinking of too, where the dude Pernell Whitaker, when he finally lost his first real loss to Trinidad, he was sitting there with a dead straight face, being like, "Nah, I beat him. The scorecards were crazy." It's hard to digest a loss sometimes, but I don't even want to get into that because while it's possible, that shit is over with, it's done with. Like I said, Fury was just a better fighter. I've had dudes who are even strong proponents, LDBC friends of mine, who said Fury was a better fighter, but he still cheated, and they're mad at him for cheating, like he didn't have to. He's a scumbag, and maybe that's true, but that's all in the past. We shouldn't focus on that shit. Well, we should focus on current stuff. What Wilder could do now, because Wilder's still possibly the best heavyweight in the division, or second to Fury. Like, I think Wilder knocks out every other fighter. Him and Ngannou will be crazy. And I can't believe I'm saying that, because Ngannou's had one effing pro fight. I'm running to the store. Peace out. Peace out, William. And I'm going to get off in a little bit myself. What else you guys want to talk about? Talk to me. We got any fights tonight? I'm going to be out for my birthday, but what do we got tonight? Nothing, right? What's today, the 4th? I don't know. I don't think we got anything. I don't think we got anything tonight. We were spoiled for like 3 months solid of dope fights, great matchups, and now it's just like screeching halt. Yeah, I don't know. And don't forget, in boxing, it's such a dirty sport. I'm in no way saying people don't cheat, because people cheat a lot. And not just the fighters, but the promoters, the fucking managers, the refs, the judges. Everybody cheats. So I try not to focus on that too much, because we have no control over it. We just gotta focus on what we can analyze and control, Because then we're moving from boxing into conspiracy theories, and we're moving into detective work and I'm not into all that. I'm into just trying to analyze the boxing for what it is and what we know. When Tyson debuted as a pro, he fought 15 times the first year. As fans, we get average of 3 fights. Yeah, well, guys still fight 15 times a year or once a month when they're first starting. The 3 fights a year are from fighters who are established and who are world champions. So, that's that right there. But anyway, all right, guys, I'm gonna peace on out of here. It was good talking to you guys. I will go live. Let me get this last comment in. I think people cheat because under a new name, shortcut advantage, leverage, intentional, not breaking the rules, and organized fighting, it makes it open season. Yeah, you're right. Some people do. That was never me, man. When I was in there, I would never cheat. I wouldn't be happy with myself. Just like when I would spar dudes with less experience, I would never lean into them. I would never go at them hard, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, my ego isn't that bruised where I need to just whoop somebody's ass to feel good about myself. I feel good about myself when I whoop somebody's ass who is way more experienced. Matter of fact, the last 5 years, I want to say 5 to 8 years that I was fighting, I never sparred anybody who didn't have more experience than me. I would decline sparring dudes with less experience. Actually, it's not true. One guy named Henry, I got in with less experience. But other than that, I wouldn't do it. Okay, maybe 2. But let's say 90% of the dudes I got in there would always have more experience than me, because how do you learn otherwise? The more money, the less ring experience. Word up. All right, Evan Houdini. All right, man. It's good talking to you guys. Let's catch up soon. I will go live maybe tomorrow. I think I'm going to jump on with Blue Bloods live tomorrow, so I can catch you guys there. Check out my videos now. Dewey Cooper, Francis Ngannou's trainer, just dropped that one. It's getting a lot of views. Interesting hearing them. And also, I interviewed Tyson Fury's cousin. So I got both sides. I interviewed him. His name is James Dean Fury, fighter as well, young kid. Tyson, I think their grandfathers or their fathers, or Tyson's father and this kid's father or brothers, or grandfather or brothers. And I also got Zab. I just released one with Zab. We're talking about the Fury and Ngannou fight. So go to my channel, peep those out, please. Please like as much as you can. Apparently that helps the algorithm, helps me do better here. You know, you gotta help my old ass out because I'm not savvy with this stuff. But Oliver, all right, dudes, thank you for watching, and let's talk soon. Peace.